what do you think the Warren Najee Harris situation is going to look like?
Yeah, I mean,
because for a little bit, Jaylen Warren looked like Walter Payton on that last drive versus the Ravens.
I mean, we gotta eventually on this podcast we gotta have a segment where we can like run the tape, so we can show what's going on. But yeah, for our viewers, go on YouTube and just look up Jaylen Warren next Barry Sanders, and this sequence will come up.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Steelers, here we go. Pittsburgh's going to the Super Bowl. Here we go.
Here we are, guys.
Steelers.
Episode 2, we're doing it. Degen Yinzers Podcast. I'm here with Pete, Drew, and CK. Drew can't make it today. He's out on the course golfing. I'm out here in sunny California. CK, I think he's going to try to hop in, right, Pete?
Yeah, I think CK will make a little guest appearance, probably 15 minutes or so. The goose has got to eat real quick, so we're going to take over. We're gonna dive right into week 2. We got a lot of time.
Where are you recording from? Where are you recording from?
I am in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm in my dad's bathroom. They have this like ring light camera in front of me. So yeah, a little better lighting than last week. So
okay, so you do have a ring light. Why don't you show the people?
Yeah, it's like a little ring light mirror action. So
there you go.
Yeah, a little better lighting than last week.
Headphones in. You're improving, baby. People gave good reviews. The people of Pittsburgh, they were liking it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think everyone was liking it. I was just at dinner today, and a friend that I haven't seen in a while was actually just telling me how he was enjoying our content. He liked that Najee Harris comment about the donut pulling it on that guy's ass. Before we get into it, I was actually obviously it's the Steelers bye week, and so I was flying down to Destin, Florida. And I was meeting with my grandparents, and I look over. We flew through Atlanta. I get on the train, and this huge guy's next to me. I look over. It's Najee Harris. He's built like a brick house. And the only thing I was thinking was, if this guy saw our podcast, like I'd be dead. So, luckily, we haven't hit that many views yet. But
I was telling Peter, I was like, bro, like, how did you not go up to him and be like, yo, like hop on the pod or something? That'd be insane.
I don't know, dude. I got cold feet, man. I saw Sidney Crosby at a local dive like 2 days prior. I don't know why. All the Steeler legends are flocking to me. Maybe we get them on this podcast. We'll get some views up. And
no, exactly. You should have asked them. Wait, where'd you see Crosby at?
Yeah. Was that this like local market, sandwich market in Aspinwall for all you Pittsburghers? Super random. Not even his neck of the woods. So interesting spot.
And he was just there.
He's pretty tiny. He's got these tree-like legs, but he's only like 5'9". Like you wouldn't even be able to spot him out of a crowd.
Wow. All right.
But yeah.
Well, here we are. We're gonna run through the week real quick. And we had the Ravens game that we all thought we were gonna lose, but for whatever reason, Lamar Jackson plays horrendous versus us. We have his number. We straight up just do. How do you think about the game, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, just like you said it, we obviously have Lamar Jackson's number throughout his career, which is crazy because he's an MVP type of player, and we don't get that whenever we play him at Acrisure Stadium or even when we play them on the road. He's seems to be a little rattled against our defense. I mean, obviously any quarterback can be with our defense, but him in particular, he kind of gets the yips. But I will say this was Lamar Jackson's best game as a Raven against the Steelers. It was his receivers that lost in that game. What do you think of all those drops?
He did, dude. He did. There was some bad drops. I'm not going to lie. Zay Flowers, touchdown, literally in the end zone, just drops. Yeah. There was also like late in the second half, there was like a perfect
Nelson
ball by
Aguilar.
Lamar. Was that who it was? Yeah, like perfect ball. And that helped us so
Aguilar
much.
On a go route, just right through his hands. And there was a total of 8 drops. So there was 2 blatant touchdowns just missed.
Wow.
So we were definitely fortunate. What a wild and just classic Steelers Ravens game. Always down to the wire. Always
on
messy,
Twitter, people are always on Twitter like, this is classic Steelers Ravens. Like, relax, bro. Like, okay, just because there's not that many points scored. Classic Steelers Ravens.
I mean,
but
there was a safety. There was. Oh my God, we'll get into it. But what's my guy's name? Olensky, or what the hell is that guy's name?
Gunner.
Who muffed the punt. Oh my
dude,
God!
how is he still on the team?
Gunner's highlight Gunner's highlight tape this year consists of a toe tap drag swag on a kickoff that was going out of bounds, would have got the 40. He toe taps it like Santonio Holmes in Super Bowl 43, literally on the 10-yard line. I'm like, dude, that's not a good play. And he muffs every fucking punt. Like,
he does.
I can't stand that.
Well, I don't know what's up with that. I think Tubman was saying that it should have been Calvin Austin back there, but I think he was hurt or something, or kind of hurt or something. But Olinsky should never be on the field ever because he just fumbles. His one catch this year, he fumbled.
You know how like some players just don't pass like the drip test? Like, you know, like he looks like a finance guy working in a cubicle that's throwing on a fucking Steeler helmet. Like he just doesn't look the part.
Yeah.
I think my 56-year-old dad would look better in the black and gold pads. So, we need to.
We got to see Chef Jeff out there with the pads.
Oh,
we got to see Chef Jeff with the pads.
Yeah.
But how do you think about the offense this game? Matt Canada had a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the offense was pretty stagnant. Weren't very good on third down conversions in the first half. You know, that first drive, we go 3 and out, and Lamar Jackson marches it down the field. They score that touchdown. We go down 7-0. And then I forget, we go 3 and out again. They go up 10-0. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, man, this is like 49ers all over again. Like, I remember I went at halftime. I went down to the bar. I never do that. I usually stay straight to the course, but it wasn't looking good. Somehow they miraculously came back because Pickett stopped calling Canada's plays. If you look back at the highlights, that touchdown he threw to George Pickens, you look at the cam in the
audible
offensive coordinator booth. He looks pissed. Pickens is
under the snap. How is he going to be so pissed?
He's calling Randy, which is Randy Moss, go route. He just heaves it up, a fucking duck ball. Peyton Manning, like out of his prime type ball, somehow lands right in Pickens' lap, and we win the game. I mean, are we going to be able to sustain that for another 13, 14 weeks? Probably not. I think there definitely needs to be some changes at the OC position.
Well, there's not. We already know there's not going to be. Mike Tomlin never does that kind of stuff. Once season starts, he's not going to fire you. Like Gunner's probably going to be starting on offense soon. So the thing is,
I wouldn't be surprised if we start.
We started starting Gunner, but what's it called? Gunner hopping.
I was gonna say, I wouldn't even be surprised if we started like running like handoffs for Gunner, like at the third one.
We got to get Gunner going. But I mean, you saw the audible. You saw Canada in there just pissed off that we even scored. I mean, I guess we're just gonna have to deal with it. Hopefully, Kenny Pickett can just pull stuff out of his ass all season. But we do have Deontay coming back this week. I feel like the receivers haven't really stepped up much besides Pickens, and so I think with another receiver like Deontay, I think we have a chance to maybe get a little bit more rhythm going, get Pickens available more for big plays. If Deontay can get some he loves his little 10-yard comebacks, and he'll catch it at the first down, Dante, and he'll run back 6 yards, and then he'll get 2 yards. So he'll just lose 2 yards. So, or he'll run back 4 yards and then gain 2. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah, he runs 5 yards back and then he'll shift out of it. I mean, he does remind me a little bit of primetime AB. Like he kind of has that juke.
He tries to be primetime AB.
He tries, and sometimes he does. Sometimes it comes back to bite him. I think he'll be a factor for sure. I think just to go back a little bit on the Canada subject, as you were talking about how he just looked pissed whenever we scored that touchdown. I think I've heard a lot of rumblings over the bye week that the culture in the locker room has consistently been said what's been the glue of our team, why we're able to rally these wins, because we have such a cohesive group and such a cohesive locker room. And I think finally in this bye week, there has been some disruption in the locker room after Canada's comments last Wednesday. He was kind of putting the blame on his players and not his playbook. I've heard in like some there was some speculation in some articles that were saying that he's kind of lost the locker room. And I also saw that there was some rumors rumbling that Tomlin said if there wasn't any, if there was more woes or they were having big time glaring issues on offense this week coming into the Rams, that they might look into moving on from him and making some changes. So I know traditionally they usually don't do that midseason.
Really?
I think Canada legitimately is on the hot seat. I mean, I don't see how you couldn't be on the hot seat if we're looking at the Penguins games and they're selling out arenas just because they have Fire Canada merch on. Like, I don't even think these are Penguins fans going to these events. It's just become a movement.
I saw a thing. What's it called? Big Ben's podcast. I was watching that. Dude, like, he'd be the perfect person to come in to run that offense. He already knows the entire offense. Him and Kenny are like good friends. If Big Ben just came in, started just slinging up plays for us, that'd be the coolest thing to watch as a fan I've ever seen. If Big Ben was up there in the booth with his big beard, drinking a beer maybe.
Oh my God,
that'd be odd.
I mean, that would genuinely be a dream come true. I mean, you know that you and I are huge Big Ben fans. Like, I mean, there was nothing better than watching that guy scramble fucking eggs in the pocket. He'd be the first offensive coordinator to he'd be like Spider-Man, you know, like Spider-Man like has his stuff like under his work clothes. Like Kenny would go down and then exactly handle up to the OC box, and he'd like go like this, and his 7 and his shoulder pads would just magically be on. Like he's ready. No, yeah, he like if you're seeing Blades of Glory where he slingshots down and he like literally like slingshots down to the field.
Like Kenny goes down. And they have the OC camera on Ben, and he's just nowhere to be found. Next camera is just him on the field, like running out. Crowd goes nuts. Big Ben.
Yeah, like the refs are looking at each other. Like the refs are looking at each other. Like, is this legal? Like, do we gotta throw a flag here? Like,
yeah.
Like
speaking of our quarterbacks, you have to look on your phone for me real quick. Look at Mason Rudolph's Instagram post real quick. Look at that. Did you see Kenny Pickett reposted it? It's him in like these farmer overalls. So this is what our quarterbacks are doing right now during their bye week. Look at Kenny. Look at Mason Rudolph's last Instagram post.
Wow, guys, this is the future right here.
And then Kenny Pickett is reposting it, like loving it. So we're in shambles this year, our team. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I mean,
Trubisky's like loving it.
You know what's crazy about Mason Rudolph is like he's actually a very talented quarterback in just terms of his arm strength and his accuracy. He's probably got the best gunslinging arm on the roster. If we're just talking pure depth chart, if Kenny goes down for any reason, I don't think Trubisky should be the guy. I think we should give Mason Rudolph a chance. What do you think about that?
Wow. I mean, we've gone through it with both Rudolph and Trubisky, and I think Kenny's just the best option, obviously. You agree with that, right? Kenny's the best option.
I agree with that, that Kenny's the best option, but he's the best option in a room with Mitch Trubisky and Mason Rudolph. And I think that might be the only QB room in the NFL where he would be the superior one, which is kind of the sad part.
Yeah, that's true. And what's it called? Do you think he's better than like the Commanders quarterback?
Yeah, I think Sam Howell's pretty good. I mean, he looks just more confident out in that pocket. Kenny Pickett last year, he would get the ball. He looked very poised. He looked like he had command of the locker room. He commanded the huddle. He went in there. He was throwing. He wasn't thinking about it. And yeah, he'd throw a pick or two. But this year, those picks, he's wobbling a little bit. It seems like he's kind of got the heebie-jeebies, the yips per se. And
you think Pickett does?
He can't really shake out of it. Yeah, I mean, like, obviously, like we can blame Canada all we want, and I think Canada has a huge. He's a huge factor on why Kenny Pickett's not progressing, but unfortunately, because the play calling's been so bad, now he's mentally not there, and I think he's regressing as a player as this year 2 is unfolding. And sometimes when you see people have amazing first years, they'll regress a little bit in the second year. But he had like a pretty good first year, like he was ascending, but it's really plateaued to start off these first 5 weeks of the season. So.
Well, what Peter would do for C.J. Stroud, man. What you would do for C.J. Stroud.
Oh, my God, dude. I love C.J. Stroud. I mean, we could just have a whole podcast on C.J. Stroud. We'll order jerseys, and we could just talk about how fucking good this guy is. I'm jealous of Houston.
I will say about Kenny, though, is when we do win the games we shouldn't win, like the Ravens game last week, he's really good at not turning it over, I think. Like the games that we win, if we play a good team and he doesn't turn it over, we have a chance. I think.
I mean, is it a bold statement to say Kenny Pickett is clutch? Like he actually is the worst quarterback in the NFL. Every single time he's not under pressure. If he is supposed to go down and make the easy drive out against the Chiefs team, he's gonna suck. But if the game is in his hands with 3 minutes left and he needs to score, he's gonna get the score. I don't know why he's
he has really again. Yeah, the only time I can remember him didn't do it was the Dolphins that one time last year. But
that's true.
Like ever since that Dolphins game, he's like 4 for 4 in a row, 3 for 3 of like game-winning drives, like bringing it down, getting that touchdown. Like he's actually really is clutch.
I would be curious to see a stat that was like clutch time QBR. I bet you he's number 1 in the league.
It's just a matter of getting to that clutch time. If we can even like be in the game in the fourth quarter.
So maybe our game plan should just be set up to organize it where we're down by 4 points with 3 minutes left every game, and we would win every single game. But the reality is, I don't know if Tomlin can instruct an offense and a defense is going to sustain us being down 4 points with 3 minutes.
It's almost like our defense has to get
our chances.
It's almost like the defense has to get at least 1 big turnover and like preferably 2 for us to be in the game.
We're so spoiled. Do you remember our Killer B team where we would literally go down and we'd score 8 touchdowns a game, but we couldn't get a turnover for the life of us. We would let them score immediately. If we got 1 turnover with that offense, it was over. We never got it. This is completely the opposite now. It's a completely opposite.
Would you rather have
3 turnovers to just be on par?
Would you rather have an elite offense, horrendous defense, or elite defense, horrendous offense? Definitely offense, right?
Would rather have an elite offense. With the way the league is moving, you want an elite offense. If you asked me this 10 years ago, you'd pick the defense. I saw this segment that it's old school versus new school. I mean, you look at the Kansas City Chiefs compared to the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? They're both good franchises, both won multiple Super Bowls, both have great management, both have generally a good staff, and always are pretty good with their roster in general. Mm-hmm. The biggest difference is where they put their money at. So I think we're 3rd in the league, highest paid defense, and we're like below bottom 5 in what we put in our offense. And then you look at the Chiefs, who are bottom 5 in what they invest in their defense. They just go out and get a bunch of rookies who are fast, moving around the ball, and then they invest all their money in their offense. And then you look at the difference. The modern day football is giving the advantage to the people that are investing in offense and not defense. In our case specifically, we have a player that's transcendent, like TJ Watt, but I'd rather have a transcendent player like Patrick Mahomes on the offensive side.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think we're stuck in that like 2010, 2009, like Steelers football of like during that time in the NFL, defense won championships. And like I think nowadays it's elite offense wins championships combined with like a good defense, you know?
Yeah,
I think and I think that's like we're kind of stuck in that.
I mean, yeah, I totally agree, Dan. I think it's the great comparison of obviously it's like, you know how they said like back in like the 2010s, it's like defense wins championships, and like you say something, but you don't really mean it. It's kind of like saying, hey, hard work beats talent any day of the week. Really? In some cases, I'm taking talent. You telling me if I worked harder than LeBron James and I'm in the gym working on my dribbles, I'd be the best player of all time over him if he wasn't working?
Yeah.
No chance.
No, Peter, Victor Wembanyama. Like, am I going to be grinding to get better than him?
Dude, I think we trade the whole team. I think we do this. We sell half the team. We send like billions of dollars to the San Antonio Spurs. See if we can get that guy on a 10-day contract to be tight end for 1 week. I don't really see how the hell would you guard that guy in the red zone? You would literally just throw it up at the goalpost.
Victor Wembanyama,
he could literally like.
You love that guy.
It's actually nuts. That guy. His legs are so long. If he kicked an extra point, his shin would hit the post board. Like it literally would hit the post goal. Like
he's incredible. He's incredible.
I mean, we could have we could start a whole other podcast on that too, because I could talk about that for days as well. But yeah,
Victor Wembanyama is a freak of nature, and I'm excited to see him play, man. In the Steelers uniform would be insane. Let's talk about how the bye week just screwed us over real quick.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, our division went 3-0 this week. Kind of a catastrophe on a bye week. We can get into them. I mean, to start off the day, I didn't realize, was the Ravens game in London?
It was in London, yeah.
Is that what it was?
They beat.
Yeah, because I woke
the
up.
Titans.
I woke up in the game. I woke up and the game had like 20 seconds left. And I was like, "Fuck!" Well, the Ravens won. And then I look at the schedule and I'm like, "Oh, okay. We're playing 49ers against a backup Browns. Easy dub for 49ers. Like, we got that." And then Bengals played. Who they play? They played. Why am I blanking?
Bengals played the Seahawks. Seahawks.
Oh my God! Geno Smith gets down to the red zone twice in the last 5 minutes. All 4 downs. Doesn't make it happen. Every AFC team won besides the Chargers. That's even worse for the bye week because not only did, like, the tiebreakers are going to play a big factor. So you couldn't dream up a worse bye week. Going home thinking you're sitting good on a pretty good win, and then every single team jumps you in the winning category. I mean, that's hard to go by. It kind of almost makes, to stay in the pace with our division and the AFC in general, we kind of have to go out and beat the Rams this Sunday. And we don't play very well on the West Coast. So, Dan, I know you're going to that game.
I'm going to the game. We're playing the Rams. Playing the Rams this week. I'm going to the game. My girlfriend got me tickets for my birthday. You know, can't complain about that. And we are –
shout out, Kara.
Yeah, and the Rams are a team that they had a good win last week versus the Cardinals. Cooper Kupp is back in their lineup, and I could see Cooper Kupp probably getting about 350 yards versus us probably because Devontae Adams had about that many yards versus us last time we played an elite receiver. So we're going to have to watch out for Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
I know the Rams. Puka Nuka, he I think he had a little slower game last week because I think they're getting Cooper Kupp back in the line. Cooper Kupp.
That's why, yeah.
But it's funny, Stafford only passes to those two guys. Like, it's like 90% of the throws he makes are to them. It's crazy. Like, he literally like pinpoints for Kupp. Hey! And so and so I think, and also the Rams have a running back that is out. And they have a backup. Williams just got hurt, so we'll see about that.
That's right.
I think it's a big opportunity also for football fans. T.J. Watt versus Aaron Donald game. I think that's going to be a big matchup. I think like the media loves to talk about like T.J. Watt played better than Aaron Donald, or if Aaron Donald wins like has a better game, like for a year we're screwed with Aaron Donald's better than T.J. Watt. So T.J. Watt has to have a big game.
You're so right. It is a big matchup in terms of that. For some reason, the NFL media likes to really, just like the quarterbacks, big-time defensive players usually have the head-to-head matchup. They don't have as much pull, per se, of how the outcome comes, but it does matter in those arguments. I guess to just talk about that running back, he had a really big week. I think he had 153 yards on the ground. Him being
Williams,
out, that's pretty key.
Yeah,
that's pretty key.
Yeah. He's having a good year.
That'll be good for our defense because we have a pretty poor rushing defense. I'm pretty sure that I saw today that we're giving an average of 4.5 yards per carry for a back.
Is Cam Hayward back soon?
Horrendous. Cam Hayward's not back this week, but Deontay's back. Cam Hayward actually has a podcast that I watched today, and he had who's the receiver coming back? Juice.
Deontay?
Deontay Johnson on his podcast today, and they were talking about how he's going to be on the IR for the next week or so. But luckily,
he's not playing?
Back. Deontay's going to play.
Okay,
but Hayward's not going to make it. Yeah.
So maybe we'll get Deontay on our podcast.
Yeah, so I think that's the next play. He's actually a pretty soft-spoken guy. He says he doesn't usually do these things, so I think it was a huge favor to go on Hayward. So we might have to really pull some game to get him on ours.
Yeah. All right, so give me your brutal score prediction. Give me your brutal score prediction. For Houston, we were all wrong. We got destroyed by Houston.
Yeah. Okay.
They could.
Yeah. I've been thinking about it. So the Rams, they have a pretty inconsistent offense. I feel like Matthew Stafford is one of the best quarterbacks in the league if he's not getting pressure. In terms of this matchup, we have good pressure. You know, we're going to get to the quarterback. I think that whenever we played Houston, we said the same thing. Houston had that backup offensive line. We're like, oh my God.
Yeah, how did Houston block us?
So So we could have a whole segment talking about the Houston game to end this because I can't believe what happened. But yeah, getting back to that point, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so our defense is. I think we're gonna do well against Matthew Stafford. I think against Houston, like it was just kind of like a fluke. Like there's no way like we're not gonna get to the quarterback, and because of that, Matthew Stafford is one of the worst quarterbacks under pressure. Believe it or not, he throws the best accurate deep ball, all that stuff. But if we can get some pressure on him, he makes a lot of mental mistakes. He throws a lot of picks. I can see us getting 2 interceptions this week. I think Joey Porter Jr. gets another one. I think TJ Watt gets a strip sack. And I think Highsmith picks it up for the touchdown. I think they do a reverse of what happened.
That would be really cool.
What happened at the Browns. And I think we win this game pretty comfortably. I think we win this game 27-17. I think it's little higher scoring than a Steelers game usually would be. But, the West Coast offense, LA's got some good vibes going. I think LA gets up. In the beginning, I think they shoot first. They get the first touchdown, but from there on out, I think it's pretty smooth sailing. Our defense kind of carrying the way. Touchdown from our defense.
A lot like the Raiders game, kind of, where they kind of struck
sort of like the Ravens game.
The Raiders.
Yeah, and you know what? I want to say this with all my heart. Maybe Deontay coming back. Maybe having our new offensive tackle, Broderick Jones, who's kind of solidified that spot, which I'm excited about. Maybe our offense with Matt Canada finally on the actual hot seat, maybe we go out and we perform well this week. Maybe we string a couple good drives, get a couple first downs in a row to start the game. Maybe we could give ourselves some hope going into next week's podcast that hey, our offense is actually capable to do stuff. It's just about putting the pieces together. So I'm very hopeful that that's what happens this week. I think we win 27-10. That's my final score prediction.
27-10 or 27-17?
Sorry, 27-17. I don't know why I just shorted them a touchdown. But I think I hope it's 27-10.
Yeah.
But
my prediction
I'm hoping that it goes well.
My prediction is I agree with you a lot. I think my first instinct was we're going to lose this game. Just because, after a big win, we usually lose the game next. But I think we're gonna do relatively well. I think Stafford is one of those quarterbacks who's kind of scared to get injured, and so it's kind of like Eli Manning in his last season, where if there's any pressure, he just falls down. And so I think that's gonna be I think we're gonna have a lot of sacks. Eli Manning was insane. I think we're gonna have a lot of sacks. I think their offense is going to do pretty well, though, with Cooper Kupp. I think Cooper Kupp might have a massive game. Hopefully I have him in fantasy, but I think he's going to have a massive game. I think it's going to be relatively high scoring also. I say this. Chris Boz, 52-yarder to win the game. We win 27-24. Place goes nuts. It might even be one of those kicks where we're losing when it happens. We're down by 1. We'll win 27-26.
We need it.
Yeah.
We need it.
And Boz will have 3 field goals probably, I'm feeling. Inside, Boz is actually great, in sync. So So I think a Boz winner 27, let's say 26-24 is the score.
Okay. That's honestly pretty accurate because it seems like we don't score traditional numbers. I like that we're both optimistic. Let's do a quick segment though, just very fast on if everything goes wrong scenario score prediction. So I'm thinking if everything goes to shit, Canada sucks. He literally goes 3-and-out. I can see this happening too. Let's just go down the pessimistic road. Canada goes 3-and-out the first 8 possessions. The Rams score 3 straight touchdowns in the first 3 drives. We have no answer for Puka. Levi Wallace loses his job mid-game. Joey Porter Jr. comes in. We ease back a little bit. Not enough. We lose 28
Tears his ACL.
to 3. You just never know with this team. So as much as I like our score predictions with 26-24 and 27, 27-14 or clearly my score prediction wasn't.
You said 27-17.
I remember what it was. I'm thinking I'm hoping that that's going to happen, but you just got to let it play out. You never know with this team. And I think that's one of the flaws of the Pittsburgh Steelers. And it's been that way for years. Is You just never know what you're gonna get. So we're gonna
Yeah, and
hope for
I
the
think
best in this one. I'm feeling optimistic.
I think if Matt Stafford gets hot, we're in trouble. Like he's a quarterback that can get hot and like just sling it and
Totally.
it put up like 40 points. And it doesn't matter
Yeah.
what defense he's going
I
against.
just
And
don't. I just.
if we're in the field too long, I
I
think
just
that's
don't
also an
think. I
issue.
don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Like when
Yeah.
our defense gets in bad situations, like the Houston game, we didn't play very well. It's when we're on the field too long. Like our offense is 3 and out every time. Like we got to get first downs, give them a little break, like have the ball when the quarter's over, so like we can even get more rest. So just like I don't even know if you can plan to do that, but like the defense needs to rest more. And I think when they rest, they're money.
Yeah. You know what we didn't talk about yet that I just thought was interesting was last year, about a year and a half ago, a wide receiver for they could sign to the Los Angeles Rams signs a 3-year, like $33 million contract. He's supposed to be their guy. Cooper Kupp really comes up on the scene and he ends up getting waived and the Steelers pick him up. Allen Robinson, this is a homecoming game. This is a prove it kind of game, being like, you guys you guys should miss me. Maybe Allen Robinson comes out and gets his first touchdown of the year.
Yeah.
I think we could look out for him as well because
The only thing is he even
want
going to be on the field? Is he even going to be in the field because we're going to have Deontay back, Pickens, and then Calvin Austin?
Well, that's going to determine if on the depth chart to start the year he was number 3, but Calvin Austin could have jumped him. But if you look at those jumbo pack sets, Calvin Austin's usually on when Deontay's been gone, obviously. But
they like Robinson to block.
If it's 2 receivers, they actually have been putting Robinson in the slot aside Pickens, and Calvin Austin's been off the field. So I think they're going to be mixing and matching. I think between all 4 of those receivers, Calvin Austin and Allen Robinson are going to be splitting reps. But I think that they'll go to him more. And I think there's going to be so much attention finally because now you got to worry about Deontay and Pickens. So I think a guy like Calvin Austin and a guy like that's going to have a revenge game like Allen Robinson could have those open targets and they could have big nights. So
are we seeing a Kenny Pickett breakout game?
I think Kenny Pickett throws for 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
2. I think he throws for 1 touchdown.
2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 232 yards, like something like
that.
But
no shot he throws for like 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, like the fact that let's slow down on 4 touchdowns. Let's get 400 yards first. We can't even sniff
as a whole team.
As
a whole team.
Yeah. So
all right. Well,
I'm pretty sure our running backs are averaging 30 yards a game, 33 yards. So that's really good.
Oh, last question. Last question. What do you think the Warren Najee Harris situation is going to look like?
Yeah, I mean,
because for a little bit, Jalen Warren looked like Walter Payton on that last drive versus the Ravens.
I mean, we gotta eventually on this podcast we gotta have a segment where we can like run the tape, so we can show what's going on. But yeah, for our viewers, go on YouTube and just look up Jalen Warren next Barry Sanders, and this sequence will come up. I've never seen anything quite like it. That was one of the best drives I've ever seen a running back play with his stature. If Najee comes out and 1st and 10 to start off our game on Sunday, I'm going to lose all faith in humanity and I'm going to lose all faith in the NFL system. I think we got to get over Najee's draft stock. We don't care. Like, he's not productive.
Yeah. I do think that when Jalen Warren plays out of his mind, Najee goes, oh shit, like I should probably run hard now, and he does have some hard runs. So I think if one guy's going, they both start going. So we got to figure that out. The line's got to figure it out.
You're right about that. There is a snowball effect where if one back is doing well, the other one's like, oh, I got to get mine, which kind of makes having a running back committee. That's the benefit of having that because you're always having competition. You're not. It's not you versus yourself. It's you versus someone else on your team. So it definitely does bring up the level of play. But I just, I miss those days where we had just a pure bell cow and we could rely on him doing everything. Like Le'Veon Bell was something that we took for granted. I really do like Jalen. I like Jalen Warren. I think he's going to do well.
I like him too. No, anything else you want to talk about?
We could just talk about how our other 2 guys are just no-shows. But I feel like we handled the load pretty well today. I'm glad you were today.
Yeah, and hopefully we get that win this weekend, and we'll be posting every week, guys. So keep tuning in to Degen Yinzers Podcast, and thank you.
Yeah,
Peace.
guys, like and subscribe.